Hello, my name's Bernadette Foley. I run BC Book Club, and this week I was fortunate enough to talk with Fleur McDonald about her latest novel, Sapphire Falls, which has just been released by Allen and Unwin, and it's Book of the Month at BC Book Club. So here we are. Over to Fleur.
Hi Bernadette, thanks for having me. That's really exciting. I didn't realise it was Book of the Month, so there you go.
Yeah, it certainly is. I loved it. I really loved it. Fleur, I've been following your writing career since Red Dust, which was in 2009. I think it's a while ago, but it was one of the first in the genre that uses rural settings. I'm no longer, as of today, I am no longer using the term rural romance because I think it encompasses too many really distinctive writers.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased about that because I tend to feel that my books don't necessarily fall into the romance category, but I understand that they have to sort of get pigeonholed a little bit to get it on the bookshelves in certain places.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's very understanding of you. But when you look at all the different writers now writing with rural settings, you're all so distinctive, which I think is really exciting. And that leads me to my first question, really. What do you think is the shift that's happened that you've seen from 2009 to now? Because it's really huge, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started writing, I was the first one published after Rachel Treasure, and then came along after that was Fiona Palmer and then Nicole Alexander. So, we start, the four of us, or Rachel, probably more so the three of us, as in Fiona, myself and Nicole, we all sort of started together within 12 months of each other, and we formed, quite a friendship there. From what I understand now, I think that there are 34 authors writing that are actually published by mainstream publishers, and then of course you've got all the other self-published authors. So there is a hunger for this type of genre. I feel that perhaps it may be coming to the end of its time for some of the I just see that perhaps publishers now aren't acquiring authors as readily as what they were in this genre. I think the ones that have been here for a while and that are established, I don't think their readership will die or go away or get less, but certainly for newer people trying to come through, it's a lot more difficult than what it was when I first started.
How did you start it?
It's bizarre. I suppose I was given Rachel Treasure's Jillaroo for a Christmas present one year, and at that point I had two very small children, both with disabilities, and I didn't have any chance of, reading or anything, and I hadn't read for a long time, and I'm a huge reader, but I read this book in the space of a day or a day and a bit, and I thought, actually I'm in a really good situation to try and, write a story like that. So my son, who is autistic, he started at kindy, and I'd been writing short stories for him just to try and help his attention span about things that he knew. So I thought I'll just try my hand at writing a novel. And at the time I was doing a writing course through the writing school, I think it was, and my tutor, Jeff Tolkiel, said to me, I think you've really got an ability to tell a story here. You should try some publishers. So I did that. I tried Allen and Unwin first, and I completely ignored all the guidelines, which I wouldn't ever suggest anybody does, and I sent 3 chapters and a synopsis instead of 1 chapter and a synopsis, and then offered to pay for feedback, and you as a publisher would know. You just don't do that. So anyway, Louise was very understanding, and I put in my submission with the 3 chapters, and that's what I awarded on.
Fantastic. That's great. And your own writing, has that changed? Because it's wonderful. So many books, 8 novels.
Yeah, look, I am very hard on myself, and I expect that I get better with every book. And if I don't, then I go back and I question that. And I do this I'm very involved with the whole aspect of my publishing. So right from when I hand the manuscript in to, the end product through sales, through marketing. I'm involved right from the word go. And Alan and Alan have been really wonderful in letting me be involved. So if I see sales in a book dip, I want to know why. So, I tend, so then I go back and I analyse whether it's my writing or if it's a storyline or, that type of thing. So I expect that I get better each book, and if I don't, I expect my editor to tell me why and tell me to pull my socks up.
Have you always been like that, or because that will take quite a lot of confidence and self-belief?
No, I don't have any confidence. I don't have any self-belief. If you ask my editor, she'll tell you that. No, even now, 8 books later, I still struggle with any type of confidence and thinking that my writing is any good. But I've got such a great working relationship with my editor that we get through that, and she tells me if she knows how to work with me and tell me if things aren't quite right or if things are really good. And I guess I started off writing crime, and there's been a couple little, we're in Red Dust as in rural crime, and there has been a couple of deviations in a couple of my books, but crime is where my real love is to read. It makes sense to take it over into my writing. But one of my passions is in being in such a privileged position of having the ear, such as yourself, of people that don't understand farming. I can tell you about it, and I can tell you from a grassroots farmer's point of view, and to be able to make a difference and hopefully make people understand that farming is critical to that's a really important thing for me. Australian farmers are in the forefront of best practice technology. Like a lot of farmers now go off farm for a little while and maybe do something like a agricultural science degree or those types of things. And it is, nature in itself is a whole science. So we're not rip, bust, tear type people. We're carefully considered, educated people that can have to read markets and have to read the weather and, what our job encompasses is huge. So, I think we've got the best job in the world, as farmers. We have all of this excitement and but we're also outside and we're with nature all the time. I just think we've got the best job in the world.
When you put it like that, I think you might be right. Fleur, 2 characters in Sapphire Falls. Well, I loved Fiona Forrest, who's the leading character. I absolutely adored. But the other ones who found a real place in my heart are Kim and Dave. They're such normal people, and they show that normal people are anything but average. Where did they come from?
Okay, so Dave's been with me right from Red Dust. He was my main detective there, and he's been with me. So he was in Red Dust. I'll have to look at my book covers because otherwise I forget. Red Dust, who's just in Purple Roads fleetingly.
That's right.
He was in the clouds, but my editors edited him out. He took a cut. And then he was in Emerald Springs, which is where he met Kim, and Indigo Storm, obviously Sapphire Falls. So he's been with me for a very long time. I love writing him. Why I decided to bring him back in is because I was getting quite a few comments from people saying, we really love Dave, think he's a great character. We're all just a little bit in love with him, and so am I. He's great fun to write. And there actually is a real life Dave Burrows, but I speak to him quite a lot when I'm writing these books, so I get all the crime side of things right, so it is authentic. So Dave's gone from being married and living in Perth to divorced, going to South Australia and investigating crimes in South Australia. And then when he turned up in Emerald Springs, he met Kim. And Kim has been, she was the love of his life back when they were teenagers, but it didn't work. So I decided to bring Kim back into it. So she made her first appearance in Emerald Springs, and now they are a serious duo. They're dynamic, and I love writing Kim. She's just so funny and hysterical and generous and kind,
Yeah.
and they complement each other.
And tell us about Fiona, wonderful, lovely Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona. So when I started writing this book's been in the making for probably 2 or 3 years. Not that I wrote it back then, but I've just been thinking about it. And I heard this, there was a news report about a guy that had been tragically shot in the head during a fox hunt.
Oh.
And it was an accident, and I just thought, oh, can you imagine what that family is going through? You know, he jumps on the back of a ute to go for a shot to get rid of some foxes, and they don't come home. And I couldn't imagine what that would be like. So I created a character that who was strong enough to deal with the grief and the farm at the same time, but still be vulnerable enough to have her meltdowns. And hopefully I've done that. But Fiona hasn't really come from anywhere except what I would imagine I would have felt like if that had happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to be one of these people that are either tragically cursed or blessed to tend to feel too much. And I then, you know, so to put myself in that situation, there's a few times I was writing scenes that I could actually feel my heart thumping because I was getting upset for her.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a bit of a curse sometimes when you feel too much, but it works in this situation.
There'll be so many people who read your books and want to write. Any tips for emerging writers? I'm
asked that a lot, and I feel like a fraud when I give advice because I don't have any qualifications. All I know is that I come from a long line of storytellers, and I enjoy telling stories. So I don't have any craft, advice or anything other than the fact that I would just say make sure you read lots and you write lots, and just keep those two things up. And dreams happen to ordinary people. I mean, I'm very ordinary, so just believe that dreams can happen to the most ordinary of people.
Last question. I have just moved into a new office, which I love. What is your writing setup like? Where do you sit and write, or do you go everywhere and write?
I used to go everywhere and write. So when I was on the farm, I'd often take out notepads and pens and write while shifting sheep or, those sorts of things. Now that I'm writing full time, I have a beautiful office. I've just bought 5 acres on the outskirts of Esperance, and I've got a beautiful light room. I don't know if you can, this is my, if I go the right way, they're my whiteboards where I plan.
How brilliant.
My partner's done all of that for me, which has been wonderful because up until recently, writing for me was very difficult. It was done very much in secret. So to have it out in the open and have the support of my family and my friends now is just incredible.
Yeah, there's a whole other story there in those few sentences. Not for today. Fleur, it's been fantastic talking to you. Absolutely wonderful. And as I say, I've been a fan for a long time. So, and I'm sure that many of the members of the book club and people who come and look at the site will also be fans. So thank you.